You know, every big discovery, every breakthrough, it all starts with a simple spark of curiosity, a little question that just won't go away. But how do you actually follow that spark? Well, today, we're going to map out that exact journey, from a nagging question to a powerful, credible answer. And we're going to use a proven academic framework as our guide.
So how do you do it? How do you turn a good question into a really great answer? It's not magic, you know. It's not about knowing everything from the get-go. It's about having a process, a solid bridge to get you from just wondering about something to actually knowing it. Let's start building that bridge.
Okay, so our journey has 4 main stops. First, we'll learn how to frame the right kind of question. Then we'll figure out how to understand the landscape of what's already out there. After that, we'll talk about presenting your case. And finally, how to really leave your mark with what you found. Let's dive in.
Right, section 1. Start with a question. A good question is obviously the starting line, but it's the system, the methodical approach that turns it into a real investigation. And for that, we need the right tool.
And that tool? It's called Action Research, and it's an absolutely fantastic, practical tool. Seriously, it's designed for anyone, a teacher in a classroom, a manager at work, a community organizer, anyone who wants to solve a real-world problem by actually doing something and then learning from the results.
Now, what makes this so powerful is that it's a cycle. It's not a straight line, it's not a one-and-done deal. You plan what you're going to do, you act on it, you observe what happens, and then, and this is the most important part, you reflect. That reflection feeds right back into a new, better plan, and the whole cycle of improvement just keeps on going.
Let's make this real. Say your problem is that your students just aren't engaged. So your plan is to introduce small group discussions. You act on it. You run the discussions in class. Then you observe. You watch participation levels, maybe read through some journals. And what's the insight? Well, it turns out the group discussions are helping, but the students need a little more structure to really get the hang of it. Boom! That insight goes straight into refining your plan for the next cycle. See how it works?
Okay, so you've got a method for testing your own ideas. What's next? Well, you've got to understand what other people have already figured out. You're not working in a vacuum, right? You're actually joining this huge, ongoing conversation. And to do that well, you have to listen first. This is where the article review comes in. And look, don't let the formal name fool you. This isn't about writing a boring book report. It's an act of critical engagement. It's how you literally map out the territory of knowledge on your topic, finding out who the key players are, what the big debates are, and most importantly, where your own work might fit in. And here's a super practical toolkit for reading any research you find. Just ask yourself these 4 questions. 1. What's the main point here? 2. Is the evidence they're using actually any good? 3. What new idea does this bring to the table? And 4. How could I actually use this? This simple process turns you from a passive reader into an active analyst. All right, you've asked your question, you've done your own investigation, and you understand the wider conversation. Now it's time to share what you've found. I mean, what's the point of knowledge if it just stays in your head, right? This is where good communication becomes absolutely essential.
And you know, the structure for a really strong presentation is pretty timeless. Your intro needs to hook the audience and tell them why they should care. The body is where you build your case, brick by brick, with solid evidence. And the conclusion? That's where you wrap it all up and drive home the one big idea you want them to walk away with.
Oh, and a quick word on visual aids, like the slides we're using right now. Their job is to support you, not replace you. You want to use them to highlight the absolute must-know points. Think of them as signposts for your audience, guiding their attention without drowning them in text. The goal here is always clarity, not clutter.
And this, right here, is the ultimate goal. A great presentation isn't just a data dump. It's about landing one single, clear idea that resonates with your audience and creates these ripples of understanding. Trust me, one core message, delivered with clarity, is way more powerful than 100 scattered facts.
Okay, let's move on to the final stage, making your contribution last. This is all about formalizing what you found into something like a research report, creating a permanent record so that other people can learn from and build on your work.
Now, I know the words research report can sound a little intimidating, but think of it like this. It's just the complete map of your journey. This diagram shows all the different stops along the way, from where you started to where you ended up. It's the story of your investigation, just told in a structured way. In fact, we can simplify that whole map into 3 basic parts. The beginning just sets the stage, your table of contents and all that. The main body is the real heart of it. That's where you lay out your introduction, your methods, your analysis, and what you found, and the end is all the backup material, like your sources and any extra data. Simple as that.
So you see, writing a report isn't just about finishing a project. It's about planting a flag. You are creating a landmark that future researchers, future travelers on this road can use to find their way. You're adding your work to this incredible collective map of human knowledge.
So there it is. We've covered the whole journey, from that first spark of curiosity to making a lasting contribution. You now have the map to turn pretty much any question into credible, powerful knowledge. The only question left is, where will your research take you?